there, everyone. It's Diane, the Creative Inkster. I think we're live now. I didn't see the countdown as we normally see. Ooh, it's a cool one in here, so I have a sweater on tonight. But it's been quite nice outside. Welcome to Mystery Card Monday. It is November the 8th, and I have a card layout that's really looks quite simple, but I just want to show you a little trick with it that makes it just a little bit better for your card making, a little bit less product that you need to use. So I hope you've had a great week. I've got 4 cards to make, so let's get started with your pieces. So what you need is a card base that's this size. So this is 11 inches by 4 1/4. You can do this the other way, in the other direction as well, if you like. I just pulled some pieces out here I didn't need. So you've got your card base, and you're going to score it in the middle at 5 1/2. So that's 11 by 4 1/4, scored in the middle at 5 1/2. And then I've got a piece of white that's going to go on the inside, I guess. And then I have a piece of pattern paper that is 2 1/2 by 4, and a piece of white that's also 2 1/2 by 4. And we're going to mat this piece. And let me show you how we're going to do that and how we're going to use a piece of this. So this is 11 inches long. We've scored it once in the middle. We're going to cut it halfway between this score mark and the end. So that will be at 2 3/4. This piece here, this 1/2 is 5 1/2. So we're going to cut it at 2 3/4. I'm just going to slip that in my paper trimmer. Doesn't matter what side you cut off of. It's even. So cut out 2 3/4. And this is what you're left with. There's that score mark that was at 5 1/2. I'm going to fold it. I'm going to burnish it. Look for my bone folder. Oops, it's over here. The bone folder. I'm going to burnish it. So there's my card front, and here's the piece that I cut off is from here, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to stick it this way. So it's not like you need to add an extra piece. So I know they were all the same color, which made it a little bit different to see, to look at, but this is what my finished card is. So this red piece here, you can see the back of it here, this red piece, it came from this half of the front. And I just turned it sideways, added white to the front of it, added some DSP over here, and I've just changed this into a bit of a fun fold card. So that's what I'm going to do on all of mine. So on all of your 11 by 4 1/4 inch, you're going to cut 2 3/4 off. And that's all there is to it. But it's kind of a neat and easy extra trick to use that piece up. Now you could use a different piece to go across, and it can be matching cardstock, but hey, you're cutting the piece off anyway, may as well put it to good use. So I will repeat that if I see other people kind of coming up that are joining a little bit later. If you're here live, let me know, and if you're watching on the replay, leave me a comment. It's good to know that who is here. So there's my piece, my card front. I'm going to now put a piece of 2 1/2 by 4 right in here, some kind of patterned paper. I'm using something that has a lot of beautiful foil sheet on it from the Simply Elegant Designer Series paper pack. Now you could layer that one more time as well, but I'm just keeping it simple. All right, there we go. And then I've already taken my white piece on this. It is 4 by 2 1/2, and I've done some stamping and some heat embossing because I wanted it to be ready for this, and didn't want to have to put my heat embossing tool on. Now I don't have the stamp set that goes with this Simply Elegant paper, but the Forever Blossoms is a really good substitute. It's very similar flowers, and it's in my stash. So what I did was I stamped off and put the 2 largest florals on there in Smoky Slate, and then I heat embossed with copper on the front wishing you a long life filled with love and promise. And I now have a lovely wedding card. So let me get that white on. I could have done it tonight live, but like I said, I didn't want that heat embossing tool to be going in the background. Okay, so a bit of a fun fold, a bit of a mystery, a bit of a way just to use stuff up. So here's where this piece of black was from. From there, right? It was all one piece. I cut this piece off, and then I'm going to turn it and stick it here, which means I'm putting adhesive only on half, on the back, on half of the back. You can put it all the way over, or like I did on this sample card I did on the weekend, I've left a little border. Whatever floats your boat. You can add all kinds of other fun stuff to it, like ribbon and embellishments and embossing or die cuts or whatever you like. So here's my piece going down. It only has adhesive on the one side. There we go. And then I had die cut a few flowers. Just find them here because that Blossoms embossing Blossoms bundle has these cute little flowers. They come like this. It's a die with two flowers in one size and a die with two flowers in another size. So I cut 4 of them out. Put those back in with my other die so I don't lose them. I don't think I've ever used those with this set yet. And I did them in copper so that they would pull in the copper on the paper. Let's get some dimensionals out here. A couple of minis and some regular dimensionals. Here we go. So we'll put some minis on there. Pop these little babies up. So for anyone who's following, oh hey Barbara, thank you for joining in from Victoria. Nice to have you here. So I was just showing how I'm using a cutting pattern to make this card pop up just a little bit more interest to it, and using some really basic simple stuff. I'll just get these on and I'll show you what I'm working on. The mystery won't be a mystery right at the end. I'll show it to you as we go along. So this card's basically finished. So here's my piece that was originally 11 by 4 1/4, and then I cut off a piece at 2 3/4, turned it this way 90 degrees, and it became my layer. And then I had a piece of white on top of it with some embossing. Super simple. This one too. I'm sure there's a fancy word for this type of fold, but I don't know it. So I just thought it just seemed like a great way to use that paper, not have any waste from that one sheet of paper. So now the next card I'm going to do is with some paper I haven't used in a while. And it's a baby card. I recently got the All for Baby bundle. And I think I'm just going to do some stamping. That's really cute. Oh, hey, Tam. Dinner's on. You're sitting back and relaxing. Good. So first thing we need to do with our 11 by 4 1/4, it's scored in the middle here. I'm going to cut off 2 3/4. So I'm cutting a piece off one end. Doesn't matter which end. Do that on my paper trimmer. Voila. Then this piece turns like this. We fold our card base over, so there's our card base. This piece turns like this, and I'm going to use it as a layer like that and add some other stuff to it. Just a way of not having any waste. And it makes a nice fun fold different card. Now I picked a couple of patterns out for this baby card that I'm doing because I couldn't decide. which way I was going to go, whether I was going to go with flowers or this sort of marbly looking paper. I think I'm going to go with the marbly stuff. That's going to work for me. I did pick out paper or gingham. Yeah, maybe the gingham. That'll be fun. Okay. So the gingham is 2.5 by 4. I know, fancy, right? So I hope you're feeling better, my friend. And back to yourself and back to all the busy things that you do. Okay, here's my piece that's going this way. And even though this is pale papaya, I'm going to put a piece of white on the inside. It just kind of adds even a little bit more to the card base and a little bit of weight to the card. And color contrast, right? So, but I kind of classify these as simple cards in the realm of card making. Nothing too fancy or too difficult. This would be a great card if you're a demonstrator and you wanted to show how to do it to some customers in a class. I'm using All for Baby bundle without any die cutting on this one. I think I'm just going to, oh, I thought maybe I could get my greeting that way. Yeah, I could do it this way. Okay, find a block. Yes, a block would be good. My son has dinner going upstairs, like a good kid. He doesn't work on Mondays, although we had a meeting today. And so on Mondays, since the other son and I do work on Mondays, Craig is on for supper, which is awesome. Gives us a little break from doing whatever we do. So I'm using a photopolymer stamp set. Sorry to do a little commercial here. I'm looking for my foam mat. So this is the Stampin' Pierce mat. And I find with some stamp sets that are photopolymer, you really do need this to pop them up and get it to push back and give you the depth of color that you're looking for. Otherwise, it's kind of washed out or you have missed spots. Of course, if you're using a Stamparatus, your life is good and you can go over and over and over it, but I don't always think to take it out. I've got this and clean my stamp. There we go. Today was a work from home day for me, which was good because the work continues in the oh, sorry. You know what? I think I'm thinking I might just cut this out, hand cut this out. I know I have the dies, but the work continues in the bathroom. I know we're in the home stretch. If you've been following me on my personal Facebook page, you'll be wondering, how many weeks does it take to do a bathroom? Well, apparently 3 weekends and a little bit more. So there's a lot going on in there, a lot of changes from this 57-year-old bathroom to make it up to date. But we've got to be like 95% there. There's trim that needs to go up, and the mirror and the what do you call it, the lighting fixture again. But a big part of it was in the shower area. Just a lot of work in there, and the plumbing. So we're getting there. I'm very excited. It's going to be awesome. Okay, move that out the way for now, and add a little bit of adhesive on here. I'm going to be done in record time tonight. There's no bridge tonight, but I am working towards Mystery Card Monday being a bit of less than an hour, a little less than, even more like half an hour of time. I want to move my time back to 7, and I'm just trying to find a way to make that work and still offer the time slot to people. So I will keep you posted on how that goes. So I'm using a couple of in colors in here. So I'm going to grab my in color jewels that match. And the Fresh Freesia is not a color that I've used a lot of. So let's grab those. And a little bit of that. I feel like this could do with ribbon too, but that's okay. I'm going to keep it simple. So I have lots of Fresh Freesia little jewels I can use here. I don't know, Fresh Freesia and peach can be something that's not specifically boy or girl, right? I think maybe we can get away with a little of this and a little of that. I need something else up there. What does this need? Probably a bow, and they're on the other side of the room, so maybe afterwards. We'll have to add that. All right, not a lot of dimensionals going on with these cards either. That's except if they were doing any die cutting and adding pieces. There we go. I like these. Excuse me. Really cute and simple. What else could I put up here? I had these die cut out already. I could add that. So I'm going to need my silicone mat, which I want to say is close at hand. Oop. There we go. Stuff was flopping over in my cart. Let me see if I have my silicone mat on the other side here. Yep, there we go. So I'm going to glue something on it. I just don't want the glue to get everywhere, but the silicone mat's awesome for catching the excess. If I can get it started here. Yeah, and if you have too much, it's okay because it's going to peel right off that silicone mat. Sometimes when I'm doing die cutting, as I did a series of cards with this bundle a few weeks ago, I'll cut some extra pieces out and leave them in the stamp case so that I kind of have them to add on when I'm ready. There we go. I think maybe one more jewel will make that pop. Where are those jewels? Here they are. Big hand, little hands, little feet, big love. Thank you. Yes, if I am free, I'm going to go up and have supper. And yes, I do want to pop in at 7. Wi-Fi keeps hiccuping for 2 seconds. Oh, thanks for letting me know. Bizarre. I don't know. I am not actually plugged in, but that shouldn't make a difference because I had that problem that I was having work. Oh, wait a minute. It is telling me your live stream is experiencing performance issues. So let's close some of the other things I got going on and see if that helps. I know. It's like it's good to know, but is it working? Oh, hey, Glenda. How you doing? Thanks for popping in. I always want to attend Glenda's classes, especially Friday night. They start at 11 o'clock my time. And I have high, high hopes. And then I'm worried I'll fall asleep at my stand table. Not that that hasn't happened before. All right, so what I'm doing is showing how you take your 11 by 4 1/4 piece. You cut 2 3/4 off, and you turn that piece in the other direction as part of your card, so you don't have any waste at all. So let's close up this stamp set that we're done with. I'm on to like card number 3. That's how quick this goes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so 7 o'clock your time, Tamara, tonight. That's 9. So I got a little bit of time to do a few things. I'm reading a really good book called Bring Me Back by, I think it's B.A. Paris, and it's kind of a mystery. It is a mystery thriller kind of thing. And I've got like a little bit more to go, and I'm really excited to get it finished. This author has written a couple of other good books that I've read recently. I'd like to have a goal like my daughter does. She sets up like 25 books a year. I think that's probably extremely ambitious for me. I think if I read one book a month, that would be good. That'd be pretty awesome, in fact. All right, so you've cut your piece off of here. Okay, so this was a full 11 inches. You cut this at 2 3/4. I'm putting white on the inside of all of mine. And then you put some pattern paper here, and then flip this piece that you cut, and it's going to go this way on your card with a, whoopsie, with a stamped layer. So that is the card for tonight. If I fell asleep, we won't know. Yeah, maybe. But then you'll be talking to me, Glenda, and I'll be like seeing the comments later or something. Yeah. I have been known to fall asleep at my craft table. I don't know about anybody else, but I've been down here working really late at night and just thinking, I'll just put my head down for a second, and then boom, I'm asleep. It happens to the best of us. Perfect. I was hoping this big stamp, when I pulled it out, was going to fit on here, just like that. I need a good size block for this. I don't think this fits on the D block. Nope, not big enough. That's my go-to block, is the D. And most things fit on the D block somehow, but I need to kind of go up a size to, this is the E block, and it's like that, quite a bit bigger. All right, let's get out the smoky slate. Here's a nice guy that I've been wanting to get this stamp set in action. There we go. It's the polar bear. It's called Arctic Bears, and no, I never want to meet one face to face, but they're pretty cute and really nice on cards. I like animals stamps on my cards for lots of reasons and lots of different things that I do. And then this has a thank you, thinking of you, you and me, because there are some other bears on this. 2 simple words filled with warmth and gratitude, and my heart is with you every step of the way. There we go. And I will use a stamp that I have not used yet. This would make a great set of cards for me for my team tutorial, because it's not one, I try to pick something that the team might not necessarily use, or there might not be oodles and oodles of samples of it out there to give them ideas. That's what I usually shoot for when I'm doing my monthly tutorials. And I think this would be a good one to do from that perspective. Yes, the wee hours of the morning when it's quiet and nobody is around. So the author, Glenda, is B.A., the initials B.A. Paris. And I don't know if it's a man or a woman, to be perfectly honest. And the book is called Bring Me Back. And it's a mystery. A good kind of a thriller type mystery. And I love stuff written in the first person, where you feel like you're entirely in the story. And This is one where one chapter is one person's perspective, the next chapter is someone else's as the story unfolds. So I kind of like stuff like that. Keeps me engaged in the story rather than hearing all about the scenery. That doesn't do anything for me. Alrighty, let's get going on here. Get this guy mounted on here. So as I was saying, I'm trying to get Mystery Card Monday in the future down to about 30 minutes, so it's not too much of a time investment, but gives people a chance to get on and for me to do some of these more clean and simple or quicker cards for fun. Because I'm still doing my Technique Tuesday, which is sometimes rolling into a card fun fold, if not an actual technique. Coming up with the ideas is always fun. All right, so I got this. Oh, I think this time this card really lends itself to greetings that go on the inside and the outside of the card. Some stamp sets are set up that way, that's what you naturally get, is the two that go together. So that's what this one's like. And that's what I'm going to do. I get this mounted. I even have stamps that haven't been mounted in this set. There we go. I see this card for my kids, one of my kids and I kind of thing. Yeah, let's work on let's take a little stamping trial run on the scratch paper over here. Because sometimes you don't line the sticker up perfectly with your stamp, and so then you're kind of stuck because it's already there, but gives you a chance to kind of give it a whirl and get it set up each time. Okay, that's this one. I need to add some sparkle to it. I've been liking these silver and clear epoxy essentials. They're literally that, silver and clear. So far I think I've used predominantly the silver ones. They're in the annual catalog, and they're really good for this alternative to rhinestones. Just that much nicer. That step up. So there's circles and diamonds and teardrop shapes. But they're just a little bit bigger, and they're epoxy, right? So they're sparkly without being just shiny. Okay, where's the other one gonna go? Right there. Okay. I'm kind of boring with placement of embellishments. Tell me how you like to place yours. I almost always put 3 on a card, or 5, just out of a layout perspective, making that sort of triangular look. I kind of get into the same process. Okay. Yeah, this one doesn't have a lot. It doesn't seem to need a lot, honestly. The paper is doing it for it. All right, my last card that I'm going to do, I'm going to actually do some coloring with my blends. And I'm going to use a stamp set I haven't used in forever. All right, let's get this guy out of the way. Take my 11 by 4 1/4 and cut 2 3/4 by 4 1/4 off. Okay, so that's my side layer. This is soft seafoam. This would make a really good class, I think. Add my inside layer. Great cards to show your team too, because they're not too, I mean, you can jazz them up as much as you like, but it's a really simple, bold idea. All right. Here we go. Never ever an even number. Exactly. That would be it, right? Oh, you're just like me. 3 on a card and a triangle. But yeah, never ever even numbers. Like, unless I was doing, you know, the pattern where you sometimes have space. Like I think one of our patterns from the annual catalog, or even that Harvest Meadow paper, it has a pattern on it where you could put something in the center of each one in a line. I mean, that would be okay. We would be okay with doing that. So someone could ask if you could do this same layout if you cut the paper the other way. I suppose you could. And you could just, if you had your card base the other way and you cut a piece, yeah, I suppose you could make that work. I just like this 11 by 4 1/4 kind of orientation. Okay, there's that. Now it's time to stamp. So normally if I'm coloring in with blends, I'm going to want to stamp with the Memento ink because it is water-based and the Stampin' Blends are alcohol-based and they won't run. It's going to be a little bit darker than I might like, so I really wish we had Memento in some other colors. Maybe one day we'll get them. But yeah, it just keeps it from running. But it's going to be just a little bit darker. It's not too bad. I've paired this with some navy, Night of Navy, so that's going to help take the darkness away from this light card. If you know what I mean. If you're catching my drift. Put this away and I'll grab a stamp for reading out of there in a little bit. So let's get coloring. Let's see. I have picked out Soft Seafoam blends. 1, because I just got them. 2, because it matches the paper. And so Saffron, because of the yellows, they're the ones that I use quite as often. And I think they kind of lend themselves well for this. And some Crumb Cake Dark for this. Now this is, I find the Crumb Cake Dark quite dark. But I'm doing Birds on a Branch, so you can think about what stamp set that might be. And so Birds on a Branch, I need the branch to be a dark, but blends wise, I didn't want it to be super duper dark. I didn't get a green, so maybe I'll just play with the Soft Seafoam to do the leaves up. Oops. Probably could do with another color or two on this. Usually I go with Old Olive for leaves. It just is my go-to. But we're going to spruce this up a little bit. Actually, I should have my navy. I do have my blends close at hand. So let me get the Night of Navy blends as well. There we go. I keep my blends in these little cylinder containers from 31, so it's clear on both ends and it zips up, so I can lie them flat. And then on one end I have like NN for Night of Navy or whatever it is. Kind of helps me with recognizing which one's which. So a little bit of blue in the flowers, not too much because this is the light Night of Navy and it's pretty dark. But I'll put a little of that and then I'll put some flowers in saffron. I like Night of Navy and saffron together. They make a very nice combination. And coloring is very therapeutic. So good thing to just sit down and do. Oops, missed a spot or two with my Soft Seafoam. So let's add a little more on these other ones. And I think I need the thick end. I find the thin end and the thick end have very different depths of color. So really out of 2 markers, I find you get 4 markers. that is a leaf. There we go. Cutting along. So on the back of your paper when you're coloring, that's what's going to happen. So you always need to, on white, you really need to layer this onto something, or your paper will show through. So my little birds are going to be yellow, very yellow. Maybe they don't all have to be yellow. Which one's this? Dark So Saffron. So I'm going to put the dark on. Then I'm going to go back over with the light while it's still a little damp and blend the color a little bit. And that just gives them that really mottled depth of color look. And it does help to go over them when they're still a little damp. I feel like their beaks should all be yellow. It'd be weird if they had blue beaks or something. There's a little of that, and then, I don't know, could you have seafoam colored birds? I think so. Why not? Suspended animation. A little bit there. This time I'm going on soft seafoam in light, and I'll put the dark on over top for depth of color. And we'll see how that turns out. Kind of nice. Oh, but I missed Shauna's good idea. Usually in threes, but occasionally five. Been mixing up lately and doing mix with, say, pearls and gems. Oh, that's a good idea. I like the idea of mixing up, because that's what we do, right? We go with the same stuff we always do. So that's why we ask these questions, so that we can share and learn. Thank you for sharing that with us. So I need a little shadowing here, because I feel like this is a little too much just yellow. Add a little shading to this little bird. It may be a while before I see yellow birds again out there. Okay, and now I'm greeting, and I have crumb cake. Let's see, what is going to fit up in this corner? The world needs more of you. I like that. That's lovely. It's a lovely saying. So let me take a test run on that too. Some of my older stamps, you know, just wanting to make sure after doing all that coloring that it's going to go down straight. Perfect. I know, note to self, do it first. I didn't think about it that way. Okay, that's that stamp. This stuff done. Not that I'm cleaning up as I go, kind of cleaning up as I go. I'm sticking it all into a box. It's about as cleaned up as I go as I get. And then I will post, oh, I must have not cut one of these quite right. I think my white piece is the wrong size, because I went to that. It should be 2 3/4, and I think I've got it a little bit wider. Or sorry, 2 1/2 it should be. Okay, let's get this down a little bit. It should be 2 1/2 by 4. And I might have it just a little bit big. There we go. And then how wide is it? Yeah, it's even just a little bit wide. Weird. May have grabbed a scrap piece thinking it was exactly the same size. There we go. Get this on top of here. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, now my piece looks weird. Okay, let's adjust, adjust, adjust. And it's 4, so it should be 4 1/4. Yep. There we go. So this one's going to be a little bit different, you won't even notice it unless you stood it up against the other ones. There we go. I feel like we need a little more blue in there, but I have an idea with some embellishments. Okay, there's glue somewhere. So thanks for watching and playing along with me, ladies. I will post these cards, and if you would like to use the layout and post yours, why, that would be lovely. And we can share those with everybody. And then I will draw for a prize at some point from among those who play along. I know we don't all have time. Sometimes we're just making supper or eating supper or hanging out, and that's okay. That's really what it's all about, isn't it? It's just about hanging out, getting our craft supplies out, and having a quiet evening time. Okay, I have some blue embellishments I can toss on here. They're called the blue adhesive backed gems. They're a different shade of blue, but they're so like iridescent-y that they've got lots of color to them. It's almost like it's a gold, which kind of goes with the yellow a little bit, so taking a little creative license, or there's the ones that are really quite blue. So we'll add something. I'll just add this one, a couple of these ones. Look for the triangular look. Doing my best. There we go. These were great for snowflake ones last year. Oops, snowflake cards. But I've used them just as having blue ones. So, and also I can always color my pearls and regular rhinestones. Okay, that's my 5 cards done. I will show them to you. So here's the one I worked on the weekend. Okay, there's my cute little, it was really going to be a Remembrance Day card, although I don't really have a reason to give a Remembrance Day card, but I turned it into a thank you. If you're wondering where this paper comes from, this is from the paper pack you can get as a Stampin' Rewards. It's 48 sheets, and it's $24 of rewards. Really good value. 24 12 by 12s. I mean 48 rather, 12 by 12s. Okay, that's stamp set. Then this is the card that I made, first one I made tonight. And I think this makes a lovely wedding card with copper and silver accents. And then a little baby card. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Now that I finally got that All for Baby bundle. This one too, I don't know, in a way you could do baby, I guess. You and Me with the Arctic Bears. And it says on the inside, my heart is with you every step of the way. I think that makes a nice thinking of you card too, right? Or to a friend who just needs a little pick-me-up. That would be a good card. And then here's my coloring in one, and where my label piece ended up needing to be recut because I made it too small where the flowers are. I like these birds. This is from Free as a Bird. Yeah, stamp set. Okay, thank you ladies for popping in. Thanks Glenda, I appreciate. Love the polar bears, thank you. Shanna, thank you so much for your comments. So glad to have you here. And tomorrow night I've got a Technique Tuesday all lined up to show you a card cutting extravaganza and how to do this new fun fold that I learned. And you've probably seen it out there, so let me show you the steps on how to do it. Take good care. See you tomorrow night at 6. Bye for now.